back to Dover and Delaware next week on the Fox Saturday Baseball Game of the Week interleague play underway. Dodgers first trip ever to Fenway Park to take on the Red Sox. The Mets meet the Royals, or Barry Bonds and the Giants. Their first ever trip to Camden Yards to take on the Orioles. Coverage beginning at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific with Jeannie Salasco and Kevin Kennedy on the pregame show. It's baseball on Fox. Moments ago here, Jeff Gordon passing Tony Stewart for the second spot with Jeremy Mayfield leading.
Yeah, it looks like Tony's car is not quite as good as it was the last time when he was leading, but Jeff Gordon's guys, Robbie Loomis and his crew, definitely made some good changes, and they're really looking strong. But right now, the guy strongest of the whole group is Jeremy Mayfield, and he's out front. He's led 51 of 144 laps so far.
Tony Stewart's led the most laps with 70. Ken Schrader, the 49 car, headed to the garage. How about these Evernham cars with Mayfield, Casey Kane, the rookie, running fourth currently, 3 second-place finishes. Kane hoping to win. This is a place for a lot of first-time winners.
Really is, and right now, Chris, his car is really working great. Right now, you see him on the outside, taking a look, see if he can get by Tony Stewart. Tony Stewart is putting pressure back on Jeff Gordon. We got a whale of a battle here for second and third. Kane is really putting the pressure on these two veterans.
Jeff Gordon trying to bounce back from the disappointment of last week. Let's bounce back upstairs, Mike.
Boy, what a great battle here.
Well, baby, let me tell you, Jeffy went up high and Tony got back around him, but the 9 car is better than both of them. He's going to blow by both of them.
And Tony's car on the long run has gotten better.
He definitely has come to life here the last 5 or 10 laps.
And Jeff's car is doing just what it did last time. It's starting to back up.
Matt's there.
And on that last pit stop, Mike, they made a wedge and air pressure adjustment, but Jeff was concerned about going too aggressive on the adjustments. He felt like at the beginning of the run, he was free for quite a while, and then the car got tight. Now he feels like they were too conservative. They should have been more aggressive and went a little further in their adjustments. Steve?
Hey, Matt, Jimmy Johnson's having fun out there. Over the radio, he just went, woohoo! And Jack Canal said, I really wish you wouldn't do that. And he went, oh, wait a minute. You just ran your fastest lap of the day. Keep it up. Dick Berger.
Well, Kenny Schrader has just taken his car to the garage area. He reported on the radio that he thought the track bar was broken. Crew took a left rear tire off, nodded the affirmative, and they just headed to the garage with a new track bar. That is a piece of equipment that locates the car to the rear end, and you just can't drive it when that thing's broken.
Thanks, Dick. Battle for 10th there. Jeff Burton getting past Brian Vickers with Michael Waltrip and Dave Blaney looking on. I like it when Steve makes those direct quotes. You know, folks like Kenny Wallace and Jimmy Johnson there. Put quotation marks around that. 150 laps next time by out of 400 that will run here today at Dover under threatening skies and very cool, unseasonable temperatures. But folks are getting treated to a Tony Stewart driving exhibition once again.
Yeah, don't look now, Jeremy, but that's a Home Depot moving in on you.
Closing at a high rate of speed.
Of course, the 9 and the 24, Casey Kane and Jeff Gordon are not too far behind. Jeremy just pulled over and said, let just go right on by, young man.
Caught me that quick, just go right ahead. But, you know, talking about Kenny Schrader's track bar, this place is so hard on the equipment. It never gets a rest. I mean, we're on the right front of Greg Biffle's car right now. And just look, the suspension never stops moving. And watch how much this thing travels when he goes down in the corner. You'll get about 2.5 inches of travel over there. Look at that. It almost coil bonds that spring. But if you notice the brake road over here, unlike at Richmond a few weeks ago, you use very little brake here getting in the corner.
Yeah, Larry, that little red thing right there, that tire wrap, that's how you know how much travel you're actually getting. And the crew will look at that. Of course, not going to look at it during the race, but that's how you kind of figure out if your car, what your car is doing. Part of it.
And I noticed right up here on the shock right there, it's a little sticker right there, and what that will tell the shock man after the race is how hot that shock guy got during the race.
Now it's in the corner, and it'll unload coming off the corner and up and down as there was contact between Biffle and the 38 of Sadler.
Right front got real busy just then.
Yeah.
I have no clue right there.
See that again.
Coming off turn 2 up on the back straightaway, runs up on the back of Elliott Sadler.
Well, Elliott's wounded, you know, so maybe he just couldn't get up off the corner quick enough.
And Darrell, this place is a lot like Bristol. You can't get out of the way when you're in trouble.
If the guy in front of you, if you're right on his bumper and he has to squeeze out of it a little bit, which happens a lot here, you can ram into him.
Matt?
Well, Mike, some of the big fans, when you go to a suspension cam, are actually the brake specialist for race cars like Jason Shapiro. He was analyzing how hot that rotor was getting, knowing what Tony is telling him about how he is using not a lot of brake here at Dover. Pointing to it again is Shapiro and Mike Lingerfeld eyeing that. Big fans of the suspension cam here in Dover.
It just amazes me, though, how much that suspension travels.
Yes, Larry. And the teams aren't allowed to use any onboard telemetry. NASCAR prohibits it, so the views we give them pretty much tell that story.
Now, there's a great race going on for the lead, but there's an even better race going on to try to be the first car lap down, and that's between Biffle and Junior right here, and they've swapped it back and forth 3 or 4 times, because if the caution comes out, one of those two is going to get a lap back.
Right now, they're actually battling for the 19th position, but as you say, Darrell, the big battle is to be the first car lap down.
Oh! Front straightaway, hard in the inside wall is Joe Nemechek.
And guess who won the battle?
Greg Biffle.
The field freezes at lap 158. And Greg Biffle, we believe, will get the free pass as Joe Nemechek brings out the 5th caution of the day. That was a wad of cars coming off turn 4, and most everybody straightened out except Joe.
You know at Dover, that caution can come at any time.
Oh, yes. Like I said, these things will snap out from under you, and sometimes you don't know why.
Darrell, let's see what triggered this with Nemechek.
Terry Labonte there with him. Ooh, Terry. Goodness gracious.
And you see Terry Labonte in the 5, Sterling Marlin in the 40. You see who's right behind them. They were in desperation. The leader, Tony Stewart, they were about to go a lap down.
Okay, you get a little frustrated with somebody you're faster than they are. They're holding you up.
But I wonder, Darrell, if that was much like what we saw in turn number 2 between Biffle and Sadler. As Nemechek came off the corner, did he have to lift?
Pretty
and
far off the corner.
Labonte's foot was in the gas.
Pretty far up off the corner there.
About a third of the way down the straightaway.
Yeah, he was on the straightaway.
Oh, and there, Tony Stewart right behind them, about to put them a lap down.
That's what Tony calls it. Well, I ain't going to say that.
You ain't going to go there, are you?
No, but take that back, strike that.
Well, Labonte and Sterling Marlin do stay on the lead lap. And Joe Nemechek will head for the garage.
This team has had a tough time these last few weeks. They lost 2 cars out there at the All-Star weekend. Hard crash here today. One of the Armed Forces cars.
Yeah, and I tell you something, Larry, I think I've seen it with a lot of different drivers. You get in that crash cycle, and it seems like you're a crash magnet. Every time you turn around, you're getting into something, and it's usually no fault of your own. But you drive, so once you wreck a time or two, you start to drive cautiously, and you find yourself in more trouble.
Yeah, that was well up on the straightaway, well off the corner.
Now, only the 2 drivers know for sure, and hopefully we'll be able to get you the story.
And we have been told that Terry Labonte, you don't hear this very often, has been told to settle down.
What's that? Other than being big, bright orange and reflective.
Well, if they wasn't in the first pit box, I'd say that's to keep the guy that's going to put in front of him from running over him. But maybe.
I wonder if it's a warning as he comes around with that tire to everybody coming down pit road.
Yeah, that's why I say it's like a warning to keep him getting run over.
Or is it a patch? Steve?
Like Jimmy Johnson saying that his car is tight on landing, but let's keep it snug. They're going to take a ½ a pound out of the right front tire. And another adjustment, they're going to add tape to a lower grill opening on the 48 car. But Jack Canals telling his team, don't slow the stop down. Left side tires going on the 48 of Jimmy Johnson.
That's what that was, Mike. That was the tape.
Yeah.
Ryan Newman now in the pits. The car is a bit tight coming off the corner, so there's going to be 2 rounds going into the right rear. That should loosen it up just a little bit. Come out.
Tony Stewart, the top of your screen. The guy's already on the left side of the race car. Track bar and air pressure adjustment still needs to be a little more snug. In the center of the corner, he's down and away. The 19 team continues to service that race car. He was loose. Felt like maybe something with the tires, but an air pressure adjustment as well for Jeremy Mayfield.
Well, I know what the fight's going to be for when we come back here in September. The fight for that pit box coming off of pit road, because Jimmy Johnson, that 48 group, even with adding tape, they're going to come off second.
Yeah, and it makes all the sense in the world when we talk about how tight this pit road is. Get your box, get your work done. He's coming down pit road, and as you say, Larry, there's the tape.
Good job.
The jet dryers are out, not for rain, but to blow away some of the divots that Joe Nemechek left on the front straightaway. Stewart, Johnson, Newman,